Welcome back! Today I'm crafting something truly magical for the holidays. A heart-shaped Christmas ornament with decoupage and an air-dry clay ballerina that twirls inside a gold ring. You're going to fall in love with this beautiful project. Hi there, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. and welcome to my channel. If you're ready to do this, let's get started making a mess. This heart-shaped wooden MDF piece was left over from another project. I love the shape of this heart, so I kept the punch-out piece for another project, and this is it. I'm going to paint it white on both sides to prep for my decoupage. I'm using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color cotton, and I'll let that dry for about 30 minutes. My crafty friend Jenny P asked for a Christmas ornament with a ballerina in a ring with lace, pearls, and tulle. Here you go, Jenny. This video is for you. I love the leafy swirls on this rice paper. I'm going to be mindful of where I place these gorgeous swirls on my heart. I'm carefully placing the heart on the back of the paper and holding the paper to the light so I can see where I'm placing the heart. I laid it down carefully and traced the heart, then cut it out. I did this twice, one for each side of the wood piece. Make sure you always paint white or a very light off-white wherever you're going to decoupage rice paper or a napkin. White allows the colors in your images to look more vibrant. Dark colors will make your images look dark and muddy. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I'm using Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish as my decoupage adhesive today. You can use this product as a varnish and an adhesive, which is true for all the Polyvine formulas. It works so much better than the most popular brand of decoupage glue. It's not a glue, so it doesn't go on thick and lumpy. It's a varnish, so it dries crystal clear and will never yellow. I let one side dry completely before turning it over and decoupaging the other side. I'm using a medium grit sandpaper to remove all the excess napkin from around the edges. I'm sanding in a downward motion. This cuts the paper clean right at the edge of your base. I'm going around the entire thing until all the excess paper has been removed. Make sure you don't go in an upward motion. That could lift your paper. I'm using some brown ink and a blending brush to add a shadow around the heart on both sides. This will create some depth instead of it looking so flat. I'm going around the edges in a circular motion, starting on the paper towel and then going up and over the edge of the heart. This is a real soft way to create that shadow. It's a little less harsh than using paint. I'll let that set for about an hour to make sure it's dry, and then I'm going to add a gold edge. I'm using Pentart paint in the color gold on the edge of the heart. I'm going to be adding some really delicate gold trim, so the underside needs to be gold as well. I just love the Pentart metallic paints. They go on so smooth and creamy and cover in one coat. Because you're watching this video today, decoupagenapkins.com is going to give you a 10% discount on one order that's a minimum of at least $50. This is a one-time discount and is good on your entire order when you use the code MASON10 in all caps at checkout. You can also use this discount in conjunction with the free shipping on orders over $75. So now you can get that mold you've been eyeing or some additional rice papers you've been wanting. Even if you've been ordering from them in the past, you can still take advantage of this one-time 10% discount when using the code above. I'll leave all this information for you in my description box below. I'm using Pentart's Fine Line Crackle Varnish to add a beautiful vintage porcelain look to this piece. It's a two-part system and I'm brushing on component number 1. I'll let that dry for about an hour or so until it's clear. Now that it's dry, I'll brush on component number 2. This step is an amber color. Use thin, even strokes. If you get buildup or drips anywhere, it'll show when dry. I'll let this dry for a couple of hours. Once dry, you'll see the cracks. I have some amazing cracks now, and I'm going to add some antiquing so you can see them. I'm using Pentart antique paste. It's solvent-based, so it's safe to put over the fine line crackle. I'm rubbing it into all the cracks and then wiping it off with a soft, dry cloth. Make sure you do not use a wet wipe. The antique will wipe off the surface of your piece, but stay in all those beautiful cracks. I let the antique paste dry for a couple of hours. Then I gave it a coat of Winsor & Newton clear glossy varnish. This is a solvent-based sealer, so it's safe for the fine line crackle. It's very shiny and gives your piece an aged porcelain appearance. I let this dry for about an hour. Also, please note that you cannot use any water-based varnishes or antiques over the fine line crackle. It will ruin your crackle finish. Since this product is solvent-based, the best way to clean your brush will be with mineral spirits. I'm going to drill a hole for a hanger at the top of the heart. I put some gold cord through the hole, tied a knot, and glued it to the gold ring. The hot glue didn't stay, so I ended up adding some E6000. That worked perfectly and held my heart in place. If I had been smart, I would have glued the trim to the edge of the heart before I tied it to the ring. It was a little bit of a fight at the top, but we got her done. I glued that delicate trim around the entire heart. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States.